Everybody, make sure to subscribe to Retail Girlfriend.
Says you while you don't understand what was said to you. You don't understand what was said to you, but somehow you know that it's not an correct exegesis of what I said in the open chat.
Yeah, because I can read. I've been reading for a long time. I've been doing fairly well on tests throughout my life.
Also,
I've
you
been
did
very
interpret
productive
the
at work.
argument that I said. So why are you pretending that you didn't interpret it?
No, what I know is what you wrote. I know what you wrote is gibberish. That's what I
just
know.
expose your self-contradiction. I'm going to say it again. If you know that their supposed exegesis to convey the meaning of what I wrote in the open chat is wrong, that necessarily implies that you did successfully interpret what I wrote in the open chat. And so you lied in the first instance, pretending that you couldn't interpret what I wrote in the open chat.
No, I know what they said is not what you wrote. There's no way any human being can infer what you wrote, what they said from what you wrote.
Way to deflect again. So you're deflecting from your critique saying they didn't correctly interpret my argument to, well, they didn't quote me verbatim when they answered my follow-up question to explain the meaning of what Gregory wrote in the open chat. I'm catching you on every lie that you say.
So what does if the sheer existence of matter mean? What does that mean? The sheer
What else
existence
could it
of
mean?
matter. I don't know. I think it means nothing. I think it's a meaningless statement.
Okay, you're wrong. Yeah.
Okay,
the
so what
sheer
does it mean
existence
then?
of matter, matter being matter, matter existing, just the sheer existence of matter. What is there to not interpret?
How would you manipulate it?
What is there to misunderstand?
How would you manipulate it? Because it says that the sheer existence of matter can't be manipulated.
It sounds like your problem. It sounds like you don't know how to manipulate the independent variable to verify the hypothesis. That's not my problem.
My assertion is a meaningless statement. Because does anybody else know what it means to manipulate?
The way to deflect again, I'm going to say it
matter?
again. You just said, how would you manipulate the independent variable? That sounds like a you problem. I don't believe this asinine, unverifiable doctrine.
So can anybody explain to me what it means to manipulate the sheer existence of matter?
Yeah, like if you were
I'm one
to
of
create
anybody. Cause matter to begin existing and discontinue existing. That's the independent variable in your hypothesis. Now, because you people are so dull-minded, you don't realize that that's the nature of your hypothesis. You suppose that the sheer existence of matter is the cause. So not only is that ontologically absurd because sheer existence of anything, anything being anything, and existing is not causal, but you're ascribing causal power to it once you make that the cause, the independent variable in the hypothesis. So not only that, if you go with that asinine choice of giving causal power to something that's not causal, then you can't verify it because you can't manipulate the independent variable.
Let's see
whose hypothesis is that?
You get okay, let me try. He bricked it. Gregory's telling you that if your cause is mass, you cannot turn that on or off because all the mass already exists. There's no way of adding or taking away mass to affect that variable. It's already set.
What
that
variable?
Value is a concrete control. That's a controlled variable. It's not a variable you can manipulate.
So we can't have heavier or lighter things?
There's all things already.
What was said to you again.
Yeah, there's all the things are already here. There's no way of adding more. You're just going to say, I've got a mass object on my desk. I'm just going to wave my magic wand. Now that mass is double, triple, or halved. You're not going to be able to do that. You cannot verify that the cause is mass alone because you're unable to manipulate
the cause of what? The cause of what?
For the gravitation.
The pull of matter to other matter.
A downward falling towards the larger mass.
And so if we varied the size of the objects we put next to each other, and we found that as we varied the size, there's a direct relationship between how hard they pull towards each other and the masses that we can independently weigh. We can change masses, right? We can put a bowling ball, we can put a BB next to it, right?
That's not the independent variable. Stop changing the hypothesis.
It's our independent variable. I don't know about yours. That's what we
No,
did.
that's not
No,
the
it is.
independent variable in the
No, it is.
hypothesis. The
No, it
independent
is.
variable is not changing the size of the object or changing the quantity of mass. The
Yes, it
independent
is.
variable is mass being mass, matter
No,
existing, the sheer
no,
existence of matter.
that's incorrect.
I know it's incorrect because that's obviously not causal and you can't manipulate it. So yeah, the hypothesis is incorrect.
But
Yeah,
that's not our hypothesis. That's your
it
misunderstanding
is.
of what we
You're
said. No,
trying to
it's not.
obfuscate it now. You know that's not a tenable position. So now you have to
No,
switch it to
I don't
something
know that.
else as you
I
beg the
don't know that.
question as to whether or not some other factor is pulling or causing the motion whatsoever. You don't know that the sheer existence of matter causes anything. You don't know that any particular quantity with any minimum limit or maximum limit is causing matter to be pulled to other matter. You don't know that the distance between any particular two or more material entities is causing the pull between them. You don't know any of that.
No, I do. I
The
do know that.
hypothesis is not this
I know
minimum
that.
amount of matter. The hypothesis is not this quantity of matter. The hypothesis is not the distance between these material entities. The hypothesis is mass being mass, matter being matter. The sheer existence of matter is the supposed cause in the hypothesis. You can't manipulate it, and it's an ontological error.
Sure we can.
Categorically, it's false.
Well, you just don't understand what the hypothesis is then. So I understand your confusion.
Way
Thank
to
you for clearing
project
that up.
your error onto me. A hypothesis
No,
is an if then statement. It's a conditional, trying to ascertain in this particular context concerning the CIM, the causation inquiry method, what is the cause of the given phenomenon that was observed. So I know what a hypothesis is. Try again.
oh, are you under the impression that the Cavendish was trying to prove
Purple
gravity?
fish.
Oh, it wasn't?
No,
Is that what you're
of course
trying to
not.
insinuate?
No, it definitely wasn't.
Oh, so then don't appeal to
Gregory,
Cavendish ever
very, very
again
much.
to try
No,
and verify, to
it was
demonstrate, to try and verify that the hypothesis that I've refuted repeatedly is being verified by that operation by that man. Don't ever
Yeah,
appeal to it again.
no,
what's
the
funny? Yeah,
Cavendish
what's
experiment
funny
was
is that
trying to
that's
measure,
like
was
what we
trying to
use
figure out the
Cavendish
gravitational
for.
constant.
Scott and Gregory. Yeah, what's funny about that, Scott, is that your side loves to bring up Cavendish for the simple fact that they think that it somehow proves gravity. Yet, Gregory, the name of the paper has nothing to do with gravity. It's finding the density of the Earth,
Yeah,
or not, right?
No, there's
and
that. So it's
and they
categorically
did
irrelevant. So
and
stop
they
appealing
did
to
that
it.
and they did that by calculating the gravitational constant by measuring the pull that two masses would have on each other, and from that they can
Yeah, that
calculate big G.
unverified hypothesis. So you
And once
appealed to an
they
operation by that
derive big
man
G, they
that
can
wasn't
figure out
even
the mass of
attempting
the
to
Earth.
verify the hypothesis. I know you have to steamroll through
Why
this
why are you
because you're
talking
not going
to
to
me, man?
clarify it, but I
Why are you
will.
talking to me?
So, like
I
Lunatic
wasn't done
just told
talking.
us, that man with that operation wasn't even trying to
Am I muted?
verify this unverifiable
I'm muted
hypothesis.
again.
So, don't appeal to it ever again as an instance of verifying that hypothesis, which is unverifiable. Appeal to something else.
Yeah, they weren't using Cavendish to verify gravity. They were just getting the gravitational constant. Do we agree on that now? Can
Appeal
we
to
move
something
past
else to
that?
verify this unverifiable hypothesis. Cavendish is
Okay,
gone. Next.
can we agree that Cavendish was just trying to figure out big G, the
Cavendish
gravitational
is
constant?
gone. Next. Appeal to something else.
So we can't agree on that. It was just trying to calculate
Cavendish
big
is
G.
gone. It doesn't verify the
Dude, relax,
unverifiable hypothesis.
relax, dude,
Next.
relax, man, relax. It's gonna be okay. I
Stop trying to
promise you.
pacify me.
It's gonna
Next.
be okay. No, you need pacifying.
Stop trying to pacify me. Move
You need your
on.
binky.
Black
You need your
Hebrew
Next.
binky.
Israelite is getting
Get
angry
your binky.
again.
Talk on her for a while. Calm down. It'll be okay. Trust me. It'll
Shut
be
up
fine.
now. Appeal to something else. Cavendish
It'll
is
be
gone.
okay.
It doesn't verify the unverifiable hypothesis. Next.
It's gonna be okay. It
Yeah,
really
but he
will be.
doesn't have anything else. He just keeps replying with this stupid ass condescension. Appeal to something else now, Scott. Next.
Next what? What do we have next? What's next?
I guess you don't have anything else to appeal to verify mass attracting mass, nor mass curving bendy space-time.
We see it everywhere we look, mass attracting mass. We don't need any more verification than we have.
Go ahead and verify it. Go ahead and show us how you verified that hypothesis now.
Yeah, we look all around and we find that objects are attracted to other objects.
Really? So no objects are repelled by other objects?
Well, magnetism, yeah, plays a fact, yeah. But
okay, so mass doesn't attract mass then, because if that was the case, there would be no such thing as anything repelling one another.
No, that's not true. That's just
it is true. That's the implication.
No,
if mass attracts mass, no further qualifications, no further caveats, that's it, then there would be no repulsion between matter. So you have a black swan for your hypothesis, where there's matter that repels away from one another rather than pulling to one another. And right now, I don't see anything pulling together. Everything in my room is not pulling towards me or me pulling towards it. So it's not at all obvious. You just want to take for granted as though it's just this patently obvious phenomenon when we don't actually observe that. We don't observe all matter being pulled to all other matter.
Yeah, I do. You might not, but I do.
Okay, so you're high, right?
No, that's a you.
You're obviously just defying what was obvious to our entire lives. You've never seen all matter be pulled to all other matter.
You have a rock garden anywhere near you?
He's got a geriatric doctor.
Yeah, I'm just wondering if the wind ever blows where you live. And do the rocks go flying all over the place every time the wind blows?
They don't go sideways and hang on to each other.
But this is the thing. You guys can never just answer a simple question, because I know deep inside you know where it's going to go. Do the rocks blow all over the place every time the wind blows?
So you're predictable, you're saying?
Do the rocks blow all over the place every time the wind blows?
Let's see if I'm going to entertain this. Watch. I'm going to entertain this. I'm going to entertain any question.
Rocks fly all over the place.
Okay,
Scott, go ahead. Yeah, rocks don't fly all over the place when the wind blows. Next.
Does that mean the wind is does that mean the wind is not exerting a force on those rocks?
The instance of rocks not flying all over the place when the wind blows does not indicate the wind is not blowing and pushing on the rocks. No.
Okay, so you can have a force on the rocks without any effect, any visible effect, right?
No, there's an effect.
The rocks don't move, sure.
All the time.
Okay, what's
required? Listen, let me entertain his line of questioning. Watch where it goes.
What's required?
The wind is pushing. Listen, let me clarify. Let me clarify, because I'm gonna follow your line of questionings. So the wind is blowing. Just listen, damn, dude.
Okay.
The wind is blowing, and the rocks don't move. Sure. Next.
Okay. Why don't those rocks move?
They're too heavy.
So what keeps them in place?
The fact that they're in a medium where they're denser than it, and nothing sufficient is moving them.
Okay, so what you seem to be saying is there's a greater force holding them in place than the wind is pushing on them.
I didn't say that.
No. Okay, so what did you say then?
I'll say again, follow along, please.
Okay.
Notice I'm directly entertaining your line of questions. So let's concentrate on your line of questions, Scott. So the rocks aren't moving because nothing is moving them.
What's required to move them?
A sufficient force, Scott.
Oh, sufficient force to overcome what?
I mean, overcome what? There's nothing to overcome except their inertia.
You don't think there's another force keeping them in where they are?
No.
Really? Wow. Okay.
Next question.
No, we're done. If you don't understand that there's a greater force keeping them in place than blowing up, then
what force is keeping them in place?
Yeah, it's gravity.
Yeah, that unverified hypothesis.
And friction, right? Because even with gravity, if they were on a perfectly
try again. That unverifiable hypothesis that you just want to keep taking for granted without any verification. You know, the hypothesis test.
If they were on a frictionless surface, would they move?
That
Are the bears from the
unverifiable
woods?
hypothesis that you haven't verified with the hypothesis
I
test,
thought you were
you're
gonna.
appealing to that to
I
account for why
thought you
they're
were gonna
not
follow my
moving?
line. I thought you were gonna follow my line. Are you not gonna follow anymore?
You didn't say a question, right?
I
I'm
did.
concentrating on what you said, and you're
I did.
diverging away from what I'm saying to you in answer to your
I said a
question.
question.
So you're appealing to that unverifiable hypothesis that you haven't done the hypothesis test for to verify? That's what you're appealing to, yes or no?
No, I'm not. No. So
Okay, good.
if they're on a
So it's
frictionless
not mass
surface,
attracting mass, nor mass curving bendy space time, right? It's
if they
not
were on a
that,
frictionless surface,
right? It's
would they?
not that, right?
So you're not gonna follow my
So it's
line of
not
questioning.
that, right?
No, not right.
Okay, so you're appealing to mass attracting mass and or mass curving bendy space time again. So you just contradicted what you just told me because you just said you're not appealing to that. Now you're saying you are.
You just can't follow a line of questioning, can you? You're incapable.
Go ahead, say next question.
If they were on a frictionless surface and the wind blew, would the rocks move?
Next question.
I just said it.
Say again.
If they were on a frictionless surface, if a rock was on a frictionless surface and the wind blew, would the rock move?
Only if the wind is sufficiently powerful enough.
Frictionless surface.
If the wind was powerful enough.
How much
example of a frictionless
surface?
surface? Give an example of a surface like that. So
We don't have them. We know that.
Oh, so it should be like a space vacuum?
An air hockey table.
The rock itself would
An air hockey table. There you go. Air hockey table.
Oh, so air pressure
the rock
then, yeah.
itself would
Okay.
also have to have zero
Air pressure
friction
holds
too,
it
right?
in place.
You guys are really incapable of just comprehending these.
Hey, I answered your question,
situation.
right? Not the bloviation and digression. Focus on your line of scrutiny. Focus on your questions. Next question. If the wind was powerful enough. Next.
How much force? What is sufficient force to move the rock?
Depends on how big the rock is.
Okay. Take a 2 gram rock. How big a force would you need to move it on a frictionless surface? Okay.
Flat or tube shaped?
Yeah, because the correct answer is any wind at all on a frictionless surface would move the rock. And we can calculate the acceleration, which should move by the force equals mass times acceleration. We can figure out the wind and the coefficient of friction.
The correct answer is there's no rock, there's no frictionless surface.
Hypothetically,
so there's no inertia?
Yeah, if you had a rock, which wouldn't be a rock if it had no friction, like this couldn't be a rock, but like, so if you had a thing that was frictionless and it was on a surface that was frictionless and you applied a minuscule force, unsaid force, whatever, would it move? Yes. It would fucking move. But it's
okay, tell Gregory that.
Question.
Explain that to Gregory.
Hey, hold on 1 second.
He says you need a sufficiently large force.
If a unicorn can make rainbows, then when we see a rainbow, a unicorn made it. Is that true?
No.
What the fuck is the point right now?
To show you that you don't understand basic physics.
So more digression away from your unverifiable hypothesis.
So you're using something that you can't prove as your proof.
Well,
yeah, you're just trying to embarrass me because you're a vindictive bitch.
I'm a vindictive. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm just trying to show that he doesn't know XYZ. I'm just trying to show something else besides verifying my unverifiable hypothesis. Vindictive bitch.
Everybody, make sure to subscribe to Retard of Gems.